It's Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in San Diego today, joined by Georgette Gomez. She is a member of the San Diego City Council. It kind of has a nice ring to it. Some thought we wouldn't be saying that, but boy, are we. Congratulations on a tremendous victory. What some would say was a come-from-behind victory. What went right?
Well, first of all, thank you.
Of course.
And thank you for having me. Well, I mean, I've been somebody who's been working for a very, very long time in the community with community members, and I think my commitment and working on improving communities really spoke during the election. So
Clearly.
that really is what stood out in this past election. It's just somebody who's been working for the community, with the community, and people knew me, people trusted me, and that's what I continue to work for and will continue to work for.
And what I think is so unique about what you bring is that you may have grown up below the 8, but you went to school above the 8. And when I say 8, I mean the 8 freeway. And for those in San Diego, that's kind of a dividing line. Yeah,
I stand for what a majority of the communities really live every day. Majority of the community members live, which is we have a good majority of our neighborhoods that have been historically neglected, and most of these communities are south of the 8, Freeway 8. I was born and raised in San Diego, and I was born in Barrio Logan, one of the most underserved communities that we have in San Diego. My parents bused me out of the community for my education, and it was through that path that really I started seeing communities develop differently than my community. What surrounded me were liquor stores. The park that I had was under the bridge. When I see grocery stores and parks that are not under the bridge, I started questioning, well, why is it that my community has these conditions and other communities don't?
How did you know to question?
Well, I just saw it. I saw that it was different. I didn't know what that was, but I just saw how quality of life in other communities, like Tierra Santa, for example, which I went to school, high school, was completely different than the high school that I would have gone to, which is San Diego High. And my parents believe that, going outside of the community, you have a better quality of education.
But how tragic is that? Think about it. That's your home.
Right.
That's your community.
And I don't necessarily agree with that mentality, I must say. But I didn't have a choice. That my parents made the decision for me. But really what it taught me was that I had the right to have a better quality of a neighborhood. And I started looking into, okay, who makes these decisions? That led me to City Council, local government. And I graduated from San Diego State.
Sure.
I wanted to influence how we develop our urban environment. I wanted to make sure that it's reflective of who is the makeup of the community, but also do it in a way that is sustainable. So I actually ended up graduating from San Diego State. Soon after I graduated, I went and worked as a crisis counselor for domestic violence survivors and sexual abuse survivors.
If you can, Councilwoman, how did that experience, how does it inform you as an elected councilwoman?
Well, I've lived the life of a good majority of the residents that San Diego live. My parents worked multiple jobs. They could barely make ends meet. My family was a paycheck away from living in the streets. That's a reality. That was the reality that I lived. And unfortunately, it's not unique. We continue to have situations like that in San Diego because the cost of living, in fact, is higher than it was when I was growing up. Actually, for the past 13 years now, the city of San Diego has declared a housing crisis. I made it a point through my campaign that I'm going to fight very, very hard in addressing the housing crisis that has been ignored. It's been one of my priorities since I came to City Hall, which was a few months ago already. And part of what I'll be doing actually is I'm still constructing my policies, but I've definitely been a strong advocate in ensuring that we build more affordable housing in San Diego. The homeless population has grown for the past several years. Want to make sure that we prioritize addressing the homeless issue. We're going to be having a special council meeting to focus on homelessness. We've already had a special forum on overall housing conditions in San Diego, the housing crisis, and and I'm gonna be pushing to ensure that we come up not only just with policies, but actually at the end of the day, it comes down to identifying developers that are willing to develop affordable housing, making sure that we are streamlining the possibility of and permitting. We need to make sure that that's happening. We need to make sure that we are going after state money to subsidize this housing.
Right.
We need to make sure that the resources that we have locally for homelessness are being utilized, to resolve the issue, and we're not keeping that money. So these are issues that I'm going to be working already, but I'll continue working on this.
And you've laid out the three challenges. We have a crisis in affordable housing. We have a crisis in housing that is affordable.
Right.
And we also have a homeless crisis.
Correct.
And each one of those three areas needs attention.
Yes.
And they need solutions that are different depending on the area.
Right. And not only, yes, and definitely, and because of that, I'm part of the Smart Growth and Land Use Committee that the City of San Diego has, on which most of these discussions are gonna occur. And I'm going to make sure that we actually end up with solutions and not just continue talking about it and continue kicking the can down the road, which is what's occurred in the past. I'm very much committed in ensuring that we're putting resources and then we're doing everything possible to ensure that we're actually resolving the issue and that we're making San Diego a place that we can continue keeping the people that make San Diego be the amazing city that we live in.
And part of the unique challenge to San Diego, like many coastal cities and counties, is home prices are particularly inflated along the California coast. So even in Barrio, Logan, a home there is going to cost a lot more than a mansion in Idaho. It's just the way it is.
Well, yeah, and we're seeing that in my district too, in City Heights.
Right.
Now that the people that have been living there for many, many years can't afford to live there. So now they're getting pushed out, which is one of the things that I want to prevent. So one of the things that we're seeing is that we have more people living in San Diego and we're not building enough housing. So therefore people are either getting pushed out. This is why the rents are going up, because we don't have, there's more demand than supply. People aren't able to purchase homes because it's way out there. And people are using San Diego as a second place to live. Vacation destiny, which is great, but what does that mean for the residents? They're not able to access their future home, so we need to change those conditions.
Are your parents still with us?
They are, yes. They're still in San Diego, yes.
Born in Mexico. What did they say when they found out that their daughter was elected to the San Diego City Council?
Well, I happen to be first generation Mexican American. So definitely, they were extremely proud.
Think about it. First generation, they moved from Mexico to San Diego, and their daughter is on the San Diego City Council, the second largest city in California. What is it? The seventh largest,
eighth largest in the nation. No, it's amazing, and I take that with great pride. I acknowledge that, because that means it's not only significant for my parents, it's very significant for a lot of people that make San Diego what it is.
And we'll have you back. We'll have you back for sure. She is Councilwoman Georgette Gomez. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's Local Edition.